So today's cupcake board is to celebrate the arrival of a new baby, and I'm using our Stork and Baby set, and in that set you also get 3 different size clouds, but I'll be showing you those later on. So I'm using the smaller of the Stork and Baby and the middle size cloud just to emboss a design around a freshly sugar pasted board. So you would cover the board and literally just press the cutter. You can obviously use them just as embossers, but you emboss that into your sugar paste, and again with the cloud in between. You could go all the way around with the stalks first and then fill in with the clouds. You may want to use the even smaller one. It would depend on the spacing. You could paint these, or I'm going to leave them plain so it won't detract from the cupcakes that we're going to put on top. So this is the larger of the 2 cutters. So that's the baby and the stalk. And that on its own, nice on top of a small cake, but too big for a cupcake. So I'm just going to take the baby and remove the stalk when I've cut out from the icing. So I'm going to use flour paste, so just a small piece of flour paste. Keep the rest covered. And this is Trex. Trex or white flour, as long as it's a vegetable fat, not an animal fat, so you don't use lard. And then roll out the paste. So the paste is nice and thin, and when you roll it out, don't lift it up and down from the board. That's why you use the Trex, so that you hold it down onto the board. And then take the cutter and put plenty of Trex across the top there where the loops are, the tie, the knots, and then place that onto the paste and press around the outside edge of the cutter. Just give a little flick to remove it, and then I'm just going to use a small knife just to cut down from the ties of the nappy there through the beak, because we don't want that part. And then use a cocktail stick or the end of the pointy end of your Dresden tool, anything sharp like that, and just hold down the paste that you want and pull the paste away. So if your paste is thin enough, it won't stick in the cutter. It'll be down on the board, which makes life much easier. And then just tidy up any little bits. Slide your knife underneath like that. So you need a very thin blade knife. Bring your sponge pad in and then underneath, and peel and pop it onto your sponge and leave to dry, so that you can cut out lots of them and have them drying. So to colour once it's dried, I've placed it onto a piece of paper, thick card on here, and you could use kitchen paper if you wanted to. And I'm going to brush over with some white satin first of all, so it's mainly over the folded nappy, but I will go over the face as well, so that when I put the flesh colour on, it will go on a little bit more evenly. So I'm using a little the peach and really sort of work the colour into the brush and go over the face. There isn't a lot of colouring to do on this, just a little pink. I'm just going on the end of the mouth. You could paint the mouth in if you wanted to, but I've left all mine plain. And then a fine brush and isopropyl alcohol. Just work that. So everything else is dry, but this part for the eyes, because they're so small, you just need to just tap that into the little marks where the eyes go. And that's it. That's ready then to go on the cupcakes. So I've just iced some cupcakes pink and a little ball of sugar paste in the centre and a little water. Just moisten and then place the baby and the nappy onto the cupcake. So in the pack, you get 3 different size clouds, the large one, medium and small, and that's the one I've used to emboss around the board. Just going to take those out of the way a minute. And because this is really nice, a large cloud, and you can write any messages, names, etc. on there. I'll show you how to do that now. So again, I'm still using flour paste, whichever brand flour paste you like to use, and roll out your paste. Again, I've rolled the paste out nice and thin, and I've put Trex on the board. Don't lift the paste, and put Trex on the cutter. You don't need as much this time. If it's quite an open pattern, then it's only the really detailed ones that you have to put plenty of Trex in that area. Okay, so press round firmly. Just hold it down at one end so that it doesn't bounce and go into a different part of the paste. You get a single line cut. And you could use the other ones if you wanted to make little clouds to place on the board in between the cupcakes. Do an assortment, or even you can scatter them on the party table so they're like confetti, that sort of thing, just table decorations. I'll remove that, and then remove that. Now I'm going to just dust those with white satin, and I'll do them while they're on the board there. So just brush over with the white satin, just so that you get a nice shiny cloud. Just press that out, that's my fingerprint there. And I'm going to emboss. I'll just remove the small clouds out of the way. My little knife. Just put those to dry somewhere. And I'm going to emboss that with one of our greetings. So this is from the assorted celebration lettering set. Now this one says a baby boy. This one is a baby daughter. And this one says just baby. So you have the choice of what you want to put on. So I'll do the baby daughter. So you would press on there. Now in other videos I have put on about putting colour on the cutter. So you put gel colour on a sponge and then just touch that onto the cutter before you emboss it. And that would make it a colour lettering. But the other thing you can do is just take a little bit of pink or whatever colour you want. Obviously if it's a baby boy you might go for a blue or a green, but you can just brush a little colour over the lettering, and that will just, this is going on dry, and that will just highlight the lettering. There we are, and then that's ready to go on the cake board. So here's the completed board. I hope you have fun making yours.